Okay, everybody, welcome back. We're on to part 3, Coffee and Art in the Morning, Mixed Media Poster Day. We're working on a 16 by 24, and we're not too far away. I'm kind of just going up and down here. So what we started with in part 1 and 2 is napkins, a bit of collage clocks, and we've got 3 book page elements, one of which, this little, we'll call him a whale because we got rid of his shark teeth. And he's going to go in here, somewhere around there. And then we're going to finish coloring the fairy on the red bird, and she's going to go somewhere right up in here. And then we're going to color the mermaid, and she's going to go somewhere down in here. So far, we've just put washes of color on them. We finished him, although again, guys, you can add much more detail than I'm adding to these color book pages today, but I really want to focus more on the whole big picture rather than taking too much time on coloring each individual element. So we've just done some washes over them. We're going to add a little bit of detail. We're going to glue them on, paint them in, stickle it up, and it's going to be good. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead. And again, I'm a little bit zoomed in so that you can see me do a little bit of coloring. I'll zoom back out after we're done coloring so you can see the big picture. If y'all have any questions, put them in caps. Thanks everybody for being here. I'm sure I've missed saying hi to some people. Hey, Barry, 3G. Who else have I might have missed? Scrolling. Hey, Marie. Dave's Marie. Denise, 2 Denises, and Damani and Grammy. Who else? Kitty. Scrolling and said hi to Wee Hootie and her wing. You think it's good? I hope it's going to be cool, Vicky. Vicky BR, one of my mods, has the most confidence in whatever I do than anybody. She'll just say, we'll work it out. It'll work. It'll make it. Hey, K-Bird Kathy. Shh, Jean's napping. Nomadic Rose. Packer Die. She's probably back and forth with the kids. Hey, Pepper. Pixie. Pyro. Hey, Rage. Shh, Rage. She's sitting over there just trying to, like, be all like, oh, I'm not here. Good to see you, Rage. Oh, but speaking of Rage, I think I saw, now I'm going to make her talk. I think she's going to do a special Prima show tomorrow on Prima. Am I correct? Is it tomorrow, Rage? Or somebody that may be in the know? I think Rage is going to do a project for Prima. I think tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow. Is that true, Rage? Rage0113? I always make it work. All right, so let's go ahead and do her. Let me get a couple of shades of red. Bird, the hair, some couple of greens. I'm not doing a whole lot now, guys. Again, I'm keeping the coloring really simple so we can get a lot done. I'm going to go with 3 greens, a couple of reds, a peach color for her skin. The other girl we're going to use, we'll use a sienna color. Let me see. Streaming with Prima tomorrow. Can you tell us what it's going to be? Sarah wants to know if she's going to be using the new watercolors. Yeah, so y'all, if anybody's watching the recording, our Rach0113, everybody knows her. Well, we all know. I mean, she's a hot streamer, a hot video gal. 2 Eastern at Rach's stream tomorrow, streaming for Prima. Yeah, Rach0113. Put links if y'all want, guys. Okay, so let me go ahead and get crack-a-lackin', guys. We ain't gonna get this poster done. We gotta get her done. So I'm just gonna go in here and start doing a little bit. I'm not gonna do a whole lot of shading. I'm gonna keep it pretty simple. A couple of shades of red and a little bit of highlight, and we're gonna call it good. But take as much time as you want to work on your coloring in more in depth. like we, you can go as far as taking 8 hours like we did the Oh Dear, the Bennett Klein. Did she say what she's going to do? Mixed media canvas using the new Finnabar paints. Ooh. Ooh. Yay, Rage. That'll be good. Cool. Rach always does awesome mixed media. All right. Links are open. Y'all go for it. So can you see how I'm keeping this fairly simple here, guys? The coloring. Thanks, Janet, for linking. I'll make a note of it. Okay, I'm just gonna I want it to look good and match in, blend in, but I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on shading and the coloring part today, because we already did that other page that took us a while. Let's see. Just really moving quickly here. But this also shows you that if you want to do a project, you don't necessarily have to spend 8 hours on a color book page. Especially if you're going to use it in your art journal and you just want an element added. Go the other end. And another benefit of coloring it before you cut it out is you don't have to worry about going out of lines, because you're going to trim all that off. See? Didn't take too long to give it a little bit of oomph. And I'm going to go back in with the crimson red, kind of an orangey red, and just do a little bit of blending and a little bit of extra color. You can keep as much of that watercolory effect that you added with the wash, or you can completely color over the whole thing, because it's got a nice tooth for your color pencils with the wash. Live long and prosper, Fern. Oh, got a little bit more skin there. I'll take a little bit of All right, now I think I'll get a little bit of white and just add a tiny bit of highlight on the tips of the wings. If you have any questions, put them in caps. I'm just, soldiering on here to get this get this done in another couple hours. Get his face kind of. Let me get my Posca pen to get in his eye there. Give him a little highlight. Yep, y'all tell everybody about Rach streaming tomorrow. She doesn't do it often enough for all of us. You know, every couple of months or something. So, all right. Let me go on with her hair now. She's got some kind of a little band around her head. She's an elf. She's got her little pointy ears. All right. Maybe add a couple of, I'll go in here with a little bit of Posca white flowy bits. But if you don't really want white in her hair, you could just, after the paint dries, go back over it and it'll just be a little brighter red. I just kind of want her to really match the bird, like they're a team here. Get her ear in there. Fix a little bit of her skin where I got carried away with the red. Okay, let's get in here with a little bit more highlight on a few more feathers. Okay, let's get in there with the dark green and I really want an olivey green. Let's go with the light green and an olive green. So I'm going to get in here. I want to get her wings, which are behind her dress. Thanks, guys. It's coming along. So I just want a little bit of shadow behind her on her wings. Then I'm going to go in there with the mint green behind her. And again, guys, you can take much more time than we're doing today on this. We can always add some stickles to her wings at the end. You don't want to add stickles to your poster or bigger, any piece till the end, because it'll take overnight to really set and dry well, and you don't want to have it moving around. Okay, this might be too blue. Let's see. Yeah, it's a little too blue. I guess I will go with a lighter green instead of the mint green, because the mint's going to be too blue. Thanks, Renee, for stopping in. Carol, Renee. And knowing that I'm going to add stickles to these fairy wings makes me even put less effort into the coloring, because it's going to be sparkly with the stickles on top. So that'll even make it more ethereal. All right, let me get in here with the dark green in her little outfit here. It's all kind of torn up. Like maybe this bird just rescued her. The bird might have just rescued her from something because her little fairy dress looks pretty torn up, raggedy edges. Not sure what happened to this poor girl. Yeah, we're so happy that Eileen came in today. All right, now I'm going to get in there with, just go in here with some white and just kind of blend it in a little. It's kind of a blue-green. And the white will give it a little softness. I want that to stay dark in there. Behind her. Okay. All right, now a little bit of peach on her skin. Let's blend her in a little bit. Then we'll cut this one out. Is Eileen making you guys shop? She must be feeling better. If she's enabling you guys. Seriously? Okay, now I'm going to go in there with a little bit of white. Uh-oh. See, this is why you want to clean off your clean off your pencil. I just got blue on her cheek, which that's okay. Gives her a little, let's just say her makeup is blue. Just gave her a little blue highlight on her cheek. That's all right. But be aware, you always want to clean off your pencil because you'll carry those colors over. Or break it. I just rescued her from the toothless orca. Yeah, maybe. Maybe we should have left those orca teeth in there. Nah. All right, so there we go. Again, I'm going to stickle all this. So I'm not really going to add any more shading or depth to this because it's going to be stickled. Totally stickled. Oh, wait, let me do a little bit on his little feet here. We'll cut this out. All right, let's go ahead and fussy cut him. Then we'll have two elements done. I want to get the mermaid colored. This segment. This is part 3. We're trying to keep them at around an hour each. But I knew this was going to be a long process today. But I did want to, I did finish the Bennett Klein Oh Dear. That's just what I named it. I don't know what he calls it. But, so we did that. We did Happy Mail. And then we did a little extra Happy Mail because my mailman told me his route has been changed and I'm the first one on his route in this neighborhood. And this neighborhood's the first. I mean, we're down at the end of the street, but so 12:30 to 1's better than 3:30 to 4 for me anyway. So I'm just gonna fussy cut this out. Oh, Dede told us Eileen was coming today. Yes, I'm glad she did too. And she's been typing a little. I mean, she's probably typed more than I've seen her type because, I've been busy. Yeah. And I've been forwarding all the cards to her, which she told me Sunday on the phone that she really loves the cards. Alrighty. Getting there, guys. There's a lot of little wing bits. Wing bits. Instead of like wing bats, wing bits. And then I'll lay this and the fish out on the piece and we'll kind of see how it's looking. Get all these videos uploaded later today. It doesn't take too long, but when I have 4 or 5 or 6, it takes a while because I download them to my computer. And although Jean said that now they're back to not being a problem to upload directly to YouTube, so that takes a little less longer when we can do that. All right, now let me just get inside of there. And rather than trying to poke into those little areas like that, guys, those little areas like that, instead of trying to poke in there and then try to kind of fussy cut or get a knife in there, just go along a line right there and just go in there and cut it out. And when you glue that down, when you glue it later, you're not going to be able to tell that you cut through. Let's see, I don't want to tear that. You won't be able to tell that you cut through that line when you glue it down. It's just much easier to cut like that. So you can just kind of follow a line to get into those spaces. Okay, for some reason I missed a cut somewhere. There we go. Okay, so let me get in right in this little one. Oh, I gotta set it down because this is a little tricky right in here. It's tiny. I don't want to cut his little talon off, his little claw. There we go. So he's ready to glue down. All right, let me move all this and we'll test it out. Then we'll do the mermaid. Again, we're going to be a little zoomed in as far as the poster goes. We'll zoom back out when we start painting. But we got this so far, and we're going to have him right down in here somewhere in there. And we're going to have her right up in here. Something like about there. Okay, and again, we're going to paint them all in. She'll probably be right about there. Something like that. Okay, and then he'll be down here. I don't want to cover up that seahorse. Maybe something like that. And then I'm going to finish the mermaid, and she's going to be down in here. So that's what we got so far. So let me move this to the side. Come back over here to our mermaid. Take a sip of coffee out of my little Miss Crafty Pants cup. All right, let's see. Let's bring all these greens and everything back here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do her skin. She's going to have like a little darker skin, so I'm going to do like a sienna color. What's Terry doing now? I missed it. So you got the box already? I don't know what box, Terry. What box? She's saying you got the box already. Which one, Terry? Be a little more specific, because remember, we have lag. Okay, Vicky S. Yeah, they are full of trouble. But the girls are all great. So if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to come visit over here on Ustream. Everybody, as much as we, kid about stuff, everybody really is nice. Believe it or not, they really are. Everybody's really nice over here. And we try to keep it fun. Okay. I'm still here, Patty. Perfect, Patty. I am. Just a little. I'm not going to, overly do all this, her face or anything. Give her green eyes. Okay, a little bit of shadow. Just not going to, just doing a very basic coloring today on her. Well, on all of them. I'm going to blend with some peach, some of the dark sienna into her skin. Give her just a little bit of highlight, maybe on the tip of her nose. A little under her eyes there, chin. Just for a little dimension, but not really trying to do any portraitures here. I'm trying to make sure we have time to finish the whole poster. Dickie bought stamps from me. Oh. And you packed the box. Do I have favorite colors? I like the Renaissance colors, Trina, and I way use them too much. Sienna, a sienna for red, yellow ochre for yellow, and Payne's gray or a gray blue for blue. I use those colors way too much, but they're my favorite colors in doing art. I just love those color combinations. So I try to make myself to use at least some olive greens, or I like the more muted colors. I'm not really a bright colors person. I don't use a lot of like neon-y bright colors. I'm more muted colors, jewel tones, and that's in my color. In clothes, I like black and white. I like black and white clothes. I mean, I'll throw in a color in there every now and then, but I would just as soon wear black and white. Mostly black. Summer, I'll add a white or something. But I'm not much on fashion as far as I love fashion. I love Project Runway, and I'll sketch and draw and all that while I'm watching those shows. But for me to wear fashion, don't care a thing about it, to tell you the truth. Don't really care a thing about it. Not that there's anything wrong with it. If you love fashion, don't email me. Seriously, it's fine. I just don't have, to be honest, I just don't have time. I don't have time to worry about fashion because I'm too busy drawing things. Not fashion, but just. So let's give her a little bit more of a waist here. Do a little bit more blending. No such thing as using the same colors too much. Yeah, I know, but when I do a lot of color booking and projects like this, napkins and mixed media, sometimes I make myself mix it up. I make myself not use the same colors all the time. All right, so I want her headband to be a dark green, so I'm just going to go in there and get that headband. This ribbon, actually, it's a ribbon tied around her head. Let's get a little bit of highlight there. Now remember to clean off your pencil because it's green. There's green on, not anymore. I snapped the tip off. Well, I don't like sweatshirts. They're too thick. I like thin clothes myself. I love yoga pants. I literally live in yoga pants. Thin ones. I don't like thick. I don't like sweats. I never wear sweats. I can't stand them. Sweatshirts, sweatpants. No. That's just me. Don't email me. If you wear sweatpants, don't matter to me. All right, let me go ahead and just get the dark green again. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and do a little bit of quick kind of accenting some of the scales here. I don't like to be hot. I would much rather, if I don't like hot clothes that make me hot. I don't like tight clothes. All my clothes are very, very baggy. I'll wear extra, extra large clothes, 5 times too big for me. I don't care if it makes me look bigger. I'm comfortable. That's just me. I like big, baggy, thin, thin clothes. So I'm sitting here at the desk all day, every day, right? I want to be comfortable. I want to be comfortable. Not that there's anything wrong. You gotta, if you're in the, hot, cold areas where you gotta stay warm, that's different. I'm in Georgia. It's very rarely that cold. All right, so I'm just gonna put a little bit of. Again, I'll probably put some stickles on her, so I'm not gonna over mess with every little thing there. All right, let's go in here with a little bit of medium green. Oh, I missed her shoulder right there. I'm gonna put some white bubbles in there with the Posca. I'll probably do her scales with stickles. So again, as long as there's some light and dark areas, when I put the stickles over it, your eye will be filled in with detail. Dede made you hide in your clothes. Dede made to hide in your clothes. No, it's not that I want to hide in my clothes. It's more that I want to be comfortable. And baggy clothes are comfortable. All right, so now let me just get a little bit of extra green in here in her hair. And I'll probably put some white. Let's go ahead and get a few little dark. I'm going to start swirling in kind of quickly. I'm going to do some swirls in her hair, like her hair is almost could be seaweed, right? Her hair could almost be seaweed. Because I'm just going to cut around this. I'm not going to get in there and cut in between every hair. So I'm just going to put my own little swirls in there. And when we add some stickles to her and everything, she'll be nice and mermaidish. Because we got to get that world done. We still have painting to do. We have to paint that whole world. I might go in here after when I'm painting and add some color and swirly with the paint. But I'm going to stop right now with that. Oh, let me do some of the white bubbles here. Some of the white bubbles that are going across her tail. Then we'll go ahead and cut her out, and we can start gluing down and painting in the background. Thanks everybody for being here all this time. I know, it's hot here too. Right. And we might just throw some bubbles in there later too. You know, throw some, because I'm going to put stars in the sky, we might throw some foam in the water. Okay, let me go ahead and cut her out. Take a sip of coffee. It's already almost 2. I got to get crack-a-lack. We're not going to finish. I want to finish way before Jean comes on. So I got to get crack-a-lack in here. We are going to, I'm going to cut her out, glue everything down, and then we'll see how far we can get started on the painting, and then we'll do one last segment after this one. This is, I think this is part 3 now. We'll do one more segment with the poster, and hopefully we're done. I mean, hopefully we finish. And again, guys, you can spend more time and more details on all these stages that I'm doing. You know, I always tell you don't rush, because you don't have to. I go faster on here than you need to, just so we can get a lot of segments in. I'm not looking at chat right this second. I'm kind of trying to get this cut out. Oh, I forgot that ribbon right there. Let me go ahead and color that in. Just going to color it in dark green. A little bit of. Let's go. Oh, it goes right along her body too. Let's don't forget that. It's her hair ribbon coming across her body there. Thanks, guys. I know you enjoy watching, but I hope you'll get some ideas. And I always tell everybody, please, you know, keep your idea notebooks. Write down, even if you can't do something, write down a color combination you like. You know, keep those ideas, because you'll forget them. Trust me, you'll forget. Something's like you think's really important during a process, and you're not doing the process, but you say, oh, I got to remember that. Even if it's something as simple as putting stickles on a mermaid scale, you'd be surprised later you won't remember that. So here's an example of when you want to go into this area. Now this is a pretty big area where I could just poke in there, but you can just go along an edge and cut in like this. Just look, you can just cut in, because when you glue that down, you're not going to see where you cut through something. So this is a way to use your color books in your art journal, mixed media, napkin journal. You know, use your color books. And if you're afraid to cut up one of your color books, then make you a copy to cut out and cut in there. All right, so I'm going to cut through her arm here just so I can get up into this little piece right there. Okay. Smooth all this off. All right, so I'm going to, well, here she is so far. It's a little flashed out, but I think you can see her. Now what I'm going to do is remove all these pencils. I'm going to go ahead and zoom back out so we can start working on gluing them down. Okay, let me get my poster back over here. Move all the pencil bits, scissors. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, oh, let me refocus, guys. Hang on. Readjust the camera. Where's my hot pink cherry card? Okay. Make some space. You think I have all the space in the world on this table. When you do a big piece like this, 16 by 24, let me move the camera back up a little again. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and glue down. Now, again, it's best if you can take an old phone book or some book that you can glue things all the way to the edge. So let's go ahead and start with our fish. I'm just going to slap him down. And I'm just using Eileen's Tacky. When you put glue, I put quite a bit because also you need quite a bit because you're gluing on top of textured napkins. And so you need a little extra glue. But don't just leave it like this. I know I say this all the time too. And I know people say, I know how to glue. Well, then just ignore me. But then I like to take my finger and blend it all the way off the edge. So you get all your edges glued down. And you're not going to have those lumps of glue. Okay, so go all the way off the edge. And you still might come across a couple areas that you have to re-glue again because of the napkin. All right, so now I want to get exactly where I want it. Something like this. On top of this watch, and you can kind of move them around a little. Something like that. And just mash them down really well. Okay. Now, go to another page, glue that shut. Let's go with our girl on the bird. I want to be careful not to tear his little feet off here. Be careful with the glue on his little feet because they'll tear. Okay, so I'm just get all the way because you're going off the edge into the foam book. Oh, careful with that little foot. And I want her somewhere right about there. Okay, I need a little bit more glue on this wing where it's on that napkin. Because the texture napkin kind of pulls the glue out, sucks it up. Okay. Okay, my camera needs to be. And the paper will curl a little bit by the time you put the paint on here. It'll be nice and flat. All right, so there we go. Now let's get the foam book again and put some glue on the mermaid. And we do our little mixed media world with our color book pages. So if you don't know what to do with your color books, other than just leaving them in the color books, then you can cut them out and use them in your journals. And you know, if you're one like, for instance, Jean, who likes to use musical lyrics in her pages, you know, or if you like using words and quotes, I just don't. But you know, you could always put words and quotes on your page too. All right, let's see where I want her. Okay, I'm just going to tap, tap, tap for a second so I can get the, let me rub this glue off my hands. That's one thing about Eileen's tack, you just roll it off your fingers. Just roll it off. So let me get that off. All right, now I'll go in here. Okay, a little bit right here on her little ribbon piece of hair. And I know I'm kind of far away, guys, but I want you to see the whole, you know, I want you to see the big picture here. So let's get her glued down. There's a little edge right there. No questions? We good? And after I'm done painting, sometimes I can still even see a couple little edges. I'm trying to put a lot of glue when I'm doing on top of napkins, but you can still see sometimes little bits might come up from the edge of a napkin. You might have to go back in there and, you know, add again. All right. So there is the first. We got everything. I'm just kind of smoothing out our page here. And again, it's like 16 by 24. Okay. Now we're going to start adding paint. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting some edges. I'll put a little bit of paint here, and then we'll do one more segment. But we can probably squeeze in another 10, 15 minutes. That's a lot. That's a lot of time when we're doing. So let me move back my computer just a little bit here. I want to push it off the edge, but I want it a little bit out of my way so I can make sure this is laying flat, because it's wanting to get caught up in my laptop right there on the laptop. It's on a pantry stand. I keep my pantry rack shelf. My laptop's lifted up off the table so that I don't splash paint and stuff on it. But there we go. All right, we're good? Okay, let's see what we can do. Let's move some of these pens and Post-it notes, things out of the way here, because I run out of room real quick. Okay, there we go. All right, let me line up my camera here. All right, let's get crack-a-lacking on some paint. Now, I know I'm going to want black and dark blue up here. I'm just going to kind of take it in stages and probably just work my way down. Thanks, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and get out some black. And I'll probably just keep grabbing colors as I see I need them. And then I'm going to get Prussian blue. And some, my favorite, you know, Blue Harbor blue. We'll probably need a little bit more of that. See, I'm trying to, you know, keep in mind all the colors that we've used. Let me just go ahead and start. Let me roll my sleeve up a little, because I'll be the first one to drag my arm through there. You've seen me do that before, haven't you? All right, so I'm going to just start. Let me move the glue, the pencil sharpeners, the scissors. All right, so I'm going to just go ahead and start by finger painting. I'm going to start up here and work my way down. So I'm going to start with black, and I'm just going to start finger painting. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start blending in. I'm going to start blending in. Oh, I need some baby wipes. Okay. Now remember, because everything has a coat of the golden matte medium over it, is the reason why you're able to wipe and blend paint. The matte medium is the reason why. If you try to just put paint on top of napkins that does not have the matte medium, and I just prefer golden matte medium, you can try whatever you like. That's just my personal favorite that I've always used with Collage. But it's because of the matte medium that you're able to blend and wipe away paint. I don't want to, say well, I'm stressing about that, but that's why. Okay. So I'm just going to start blending in here a little bit. I'm going to get some black in there. I'm going to just start filling in some of the white areas. We can always paint in more planets. We can add whatever we want because it's like we're the boss of our page. And if you get somewhere you don't want it, just go in here with your baby wipe and wipe it away. Okay? It's because of the matte medium you're able to do that. So I'm just going to kind of, this is where my fun part, I like to take my time in this stage. I usually do kind of hurry though, because we're usually on stream. But this is a part I enjoy. I enjoy doing the painting part and like bringing the little worlds to life. And we're going to throw stars in here, some more planets. This is just the base coat. This is just to get rid of the white and start blending things together. Okay. So I'm just going back and forth between the blue and the blacks. I'm going to have it nice and dark in the corners up here. Don't be afraid to cover anything up. Don't be afraid to cover anything up. All right, so now I'm going to take my my baby wipe and just kind of blend that into down here. I don't want to get rid of any of this, but I want it to start fading out. So you can do those blends and fades with the baby wipe because of the matte medium. Okay. So get a first little layer there, and then you get into areas where your finger's just too big to get into little areas. Then you just get a brush. I like messing with it with my fingers and blending in with my fingers. Okay. Let's start with that up here at the top, and I know it's hard to see because I'm on a black paper, but alrighty, just keep going across. And if something you get lost in something there, you can always just paint around and add more. So I'm kind of just getting some of the blues, the two blues, kind of blending out a nice pretty shade there. Right now I'm sticking to the top area up here. Where can you find? You can find it Michael's. Michael's carries golden matte medium. I don't think Hobby Lobby does. I think Hobby Lobby carries Liquitex brands, and Michael's carries golden brands. You can probably find it cheaper online though. Just saying. But you can use coupons at Michael's. So, and definitely do, because it's not cheap, guys. Golden matte medium is not cheap. But for me, that's like my one go-to product that Golden's not sponsoring me or anything. Maybe someday I can get them to, but right now, I just love their product, right? I just love their product. So I'm just kind of going around a little bit. And I'm going to have to start getting a brush pretty soon. I'm going to have to start, fussing around my little fairy girl. Now remember this. My Colorbook pages do not have matte medium on them. So you can't just get paint all over them and expect it to wipe off. Okay? So when you get around the Colorbook pages, you either need to get a brush or just, be careful. because you can't wipe it off of your Colorbook pages like we're doing, you know, like we're doing with the areas that are covered. And you also want to keep your baby wipe, keep a clean area. If you want to, you know, blend, you can take a dirty area and blend in, but you're just moving around the paint. If you want to wipe away, you need to find a clean area. You need to find a clean area, right? So I'm just going to get a little bit of the sky here, the space started. And again, these are all napkins that we started with. So you see the top there? I want to get in here. Now I'm going to want to start doing some greens in here. Oh wait, I think I do want some more blue right in here. Blue and black. So let me get a smaller brush here. Okay. Go back, and because my finger's too big to get in that area. And like I said, I really don't want to get it on the Colorbook page. So I'm just going to get in here. I'm going to get in here with a brush. Blend it up here, but on the, don't want to touch on her because it will not come off. So these are the areas where you just, you know, you start really doing a painting. You're actually doing a painting. So if you have any questions, just put them in caps. Being careful to get around the edge there. Maybe a little bit more blues. I'm going to add some more planets and things. But this is a part that really takes the longest. The coloring can take a while. The coloring can take a while. But this will take a while too. Let me get some more black on right on the edge. All right, now I'm going to start coming in here with some blues. And I just get a couple of colors at a time in here. I actually need a little bit of white too. I need to. And you can go in there with color pencil to add some more little details and things. So you just gotta, you know, imagine you're painting now. Imagine you're doing a painting, because you are. You can always add paint on top of, you can always add paint on top of your Colorbook pages too. Thanks, guys. And I know you're not seeing a lot of the detail. I mean, I can zoom in. I kind of wanted to have here far away. I could probably zoom in one so that you could see the whole thing, you know, because I'm going to be working all over it. All right, let me autofocus. Hang on, guys. I had autofocus. I hope it wasn't flickering in and out because I didn't take autofocus off a minute ago. Hope it wasn't too flickery. There we go. And the paint dries out pretty quick under all these lights because I have like 6 lights on. So, it dries pretty quick. Can get a nice little clean spot on my baby wipe here. I'm just going to start playing in my little outer space world. I'm freezing to death. What world are you living in, Vicky? Vicky, yes. A little bit of a dry brush thing going on there. You like it? Oh, thanks. Hey, Barb. Okay, so I might want to lighten up a little bit of the planet here. That's from the napkin. These particular planets were on the napkin. You don't have to leave it like it is. You are the boss of your page. Maybe a little bit on this one, just a little. You can do a wash, you know, you can water it down. Give it a little bit more brightness. And then I'll show you here. Let me go ahead and do some flicking stars just to show you here. You need a nice fluffy brush. And I'll just get some water here and just add a little bit of water to my white. Get it nice and inky. Don't get it too much because you're just going to want to flick a little. Now, while it's wet, grab any extra spots that might get on your color book because once you can't move that around much. Okay. Right, so let me show you this. All right, now what I want though, I want those rings to be brighter. Move my baby wipes. Need another one. Yeah, I go through a lot of baby wipes, guys, a lot. All right, now I'm going to get an orange pencil. Get an orange pencil here, and I'm going to brighten up the rings. Maybe add a couple brighter orange planets that we can. Same for this one. There's one coming around behind here. I might go ahead and bring those rings right across this watch here, like it's part of a planet, another planet. And I'm going to have the hands of the watch extend out, but I have to have everything else painted in before you can do that. Okay. All right, now we got at least the top of our space going. Now I'm going to come in here. Let's get some greens out. I'm going to go with these same greens, although I'll just have to put some more out because, you know, they're dried up. I don't want teal. I want the, what is it called? Yeah, the Hauser dark green that we had earlier. Then we'll go and move down into the olive and move into the mint. I want those three greens. And you can mix with your finger to get them to kind of blendy up. Yeah. All right, so let's see, what time is it? All right, so I'm going to go, before I start with the green, I'm going to go ahead and start a new segment. So just hang loose, guys. I'm going to start another recording. I'm not leaving you, but you can, yeah, hang on, and I'll be right back.